Well, hey, everybody, welcome to Module 3. It's really great that we've gotten to this point. I think we're developing a rhythm along the way. I'm loving the discussion posts that you are posting, and I love the summaries that you're putting together as well. And I think as we move into Module 3 and 4 and we talk more about purpose, I don't think it's any surprise that in some ways our conversations can be better when we have a direction and a purpose associated to it. So what I could have done this summer is just say, hey, post a discussion post, and you would have all done it, and it could have been all over the place. You're kind of around the topic, you'd be nice to each other, but there wouldn't necessarily be that purposeful direction. But I think with the summary of us wrestling with the prompt and then trying to think about how we together would answer that, I think we learn from each other. We have a much more generative conversation, and I think it's something that can really bring us together. So in some ways, collectively, purpose can bring us together, which is a powerful thing to think about. Now, like I mentioned, Module 3, we're turning to purpose. We've been talking about identity, we've been talking about belonging, and now we're going to be talking about purpose in Module 3 and Module 4. And I just want you to know of one logistical move that I've made. I've moved the book by Andy Root that was for Module 3. You'll see that in the syllabus. I've moved that text to Module 4 because I realized that I front-ended Module 3 a little bit much, and that would have just been a lot for you to read. So Andy Root is going to be moved to Module 4. You just have 3 texts that you're going to be reading. One is a newer text, which I'm really excited about Indigenous communities and how they think about living. And I think we have lots to learn from those that come from Indigenous backgrounds. And I'm hoping that this will be something that will be really meaningful to you. You're also going to be reading a piece by James Cone. If you haven't read James Cone yet, this is a great piece. To start your journey in your dialogue with him. The Cross and the Lynching Tree is a powerful piece that I know that you're going to want to read, and as you can read slowly, because it's quite powerful. Also, my friend and colleague Daniel Lee, who wrote an award-winning book on Asian American theology and in the church, is also going to, I think, bring a really great perspective in the work that he's done, and something that he's really passionate about that he teaches here at Fuller. But what I think is important about all these different pieces is that this is more than just kind of having diverse books, because that's what we're supposed to do in academia these days. I think it's really easy when we think about purpose that we oftentimes in our lives have a myopic view of the way the world works, or even how we work in the world, right? We don't necessarily see perhaps other perspectives that can give us a new view on the way the world works, and maybe reignite or reimagine my own purpose in the world. Conversely, those who have less privilege and less influence and are not part of the majority culture oftentimes can be erased or unseen, or have fewer guideposts for them to figure out how they fit in the world, because it's dominated by a dominant culture. So when we bring in different perspectives, it's not just to make us feel better. It actually opens us up to a broader world that brings us new possibility. It advocates for more people and allows us to really think even more broadly about a concept like purpose. And this is really important in youth ministry, right? We know that the world is becoming more diverse, especially an emerging generation has that. And so the youth groups and the small groups and the gatherings that we have with the way that we disciple young people are going to take on a more diverse and broad context, of which we have to be agile and nimble to think about with that. So I really hope that you enjoy this module and the reading. I know that in many ways you're trying to get through it to get the discussion posts done, but if you can find time to just sit down and read slowly, I think it will be worth it. Let these texts speak to you. Inspire you, change you, and perhaps it'll actually shape the way you think about ministry and the ways that you think about your serving your broad and diverse young people that you're working with. So have a great module, have a great couple of weeks. We'll be in touch, and if there's anything that Andy and I can do, don't hesitate to reach out. And so until we connect again, God's grace and peace.